welcome to Talking Tennessee,
where we navigate life's twists, real estate turns, and share Southern stories.
We're your hosts. I'm Rachel Odom.
And I am Brittany Hobson.
And I feel like I'm always messing with this mic.
You do mess with it quite often.
I think it's because I can't sit still. Like, I really do have a hard time in church or on airplanes. I cannot sit still. Like, I have to move.
I get it. Now, I will say I'm normally like that. Today, I am dragging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's...
I think it's the weather.
The rain or something.
The rain.
You know.
Yeah.
I am...
And it's kind of cold.
It is. It's a little chilly. It's Easter week, so that's always a favorite of mine.
Do you all dye eggs and hide them and do all that?
Yes and no. Like, we...
I mean,
I
Aubrey's
don't mind.
probably still at the age where...
Yes.
Yeah.
So they do enjoy dyeing eggs, but we don't do a ton. Like, we don't make a big, like... I mean... So we used to probably dye them more than what we do now. But yeah, we do dye eggs, and normally we'll hide the plastic eggs that have candy or something inside it. And so that is that's pretty much what we do. And then but I may have talked about this before on the podcast. I can't remember. But we had the Easter basket.
Oh yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
We had the Easter basket.
So that's cool. Mm-hmm. Is it supposed to rain Sunday? Do you know?
I haven't looked that far. It's Tennessee, so it could change.
I know. I try not to trust it that far out, but, you know, sometimes I'm curious and I see what they're saying it's going to do, but we don't really do a whole lot.
No, we normally have dinner with family or, you know, we go to church and spend time with family, and so that's the majority of what we do.
I will say this year, and I'm not, as we've established, I'm not like a huge fan of Southern foods. So like the traditional ham and all the sides and the deviled eggs, like I like it fine. But when you have it at Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, to me, it gets old.
That's 3 times.
I know, but still, I can only eat so much turkey or whatever.
You would not survive in my family because, like, we're a part of a blended family, but also his and her, like, my husband's family. I mean, like, Easter, it's going to be, and I will say, like, I'll pick and choose, like, eat a little bit of this here. And
Yeah.
But, like, it's the same meal twice most of the time.
Well, that's how Christmas can be, and Thanksgiving, and, you know, I'm married, so we have 2 or more, but I just get burnt out, and I don't want it. So I think we may eat out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if any of us feel like cooking, and we don't have any plans, so I think we're going to eat out.
I'm probably going to cook. I will say I keep telling my family everything is very much on standby for me. I've got a kid having 4 wisdom teeth taken out Friday.
Oh, gosh.
So
he's young, though. He'll bounce quick, probably.
Yeah, so we'll see how that recovers. I will record. Maybe we'll have some funny footage.
Yeah.
I'm not that mom. Like, I'm going to record. Like, I'm going to make sure he's okay, number one.
Yeah.
But if he's doing something funny, I'm going to record just for, even if it's for my pure enjoyment.
Well, you know, one day you'll look back and you'll be glad you did.
Yeah.
When he's grown.
Like, he's young and he
can
can do, you know. And now, being for me, I don't know if you've reached this point in your life. I'm sure several of you have. Once you hit a certain age, you can bend over and pick up a pencil and your back go out. You can sneeze and your back go out.
I've been having this weird pain in my hip for the past week, and that feels like an old person pain. So I don't know why, but I understand, yeah.
I'm like, today, like the last couple of days, it's been rough. I've been moving some furniture around.
Oh, yeah, that will.
Like, even just the pushing and tugging. And I used to be, like, growing up, I was that kid that I rearranged my room all the time for fun.
Yeah.
And so it was nothing for me to move a dresser. Now I'm like, oh, I'm hurting. I'm going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some house projects, and afterwards, I don't know why, but I guess it's the movement that you do. But I swear I have a pinched nerve, and anytime I paint, where you're reaching over and that pinched nerve will go crazy and it feels like a sting in my shoulder.
Yeah.
And it is just, it's literally, I do not have it unless I start painting. And I have painted quite a bit. My mom and I painted some for like as a job for one summer, and then I've done a lot of projects at my house and her house, and so physical labor will put you down.
It will. It's not always fun.
No.
And it's hard the older you get, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. You know. I mean, I remember.
But I will also say, I think it is critical, like, even when you're hurting. Now, I'm not saying, like, to go run a marathon. You still have to go move. Like, I think that's what makes it worse is, like, when you're hurting, then you go and lay down for, 2 weeks. Like, you've got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Maybe not be as strenuous, but you've got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to jerk a headphone out there for a second. So, yeah. How are you doing in your bracket?
I don't know. But I'm going to be honest. When I went to sign in and make the bracket, it was asking me way too many questions. I was like, there's east, west, north, south, whatever they were. And it wanted me to pick for each game. And so I was just like, can I just let the app pick for me? And the answer was yes. So I didn't do much work as far as filling it out because there was so many. I'd never even heard of most of these teams. So, yeah.
I know.
I just did a...
You were doing good there for a little while.
I did, actually. I know. I was impressed, and I think I've fallen off.
She also thought that it was already over, guys. She thought, like, after first 2 rounds, it was over.
I was like, how do they have any more games to play?
So, no, we're now down to the Sweet 16.
There's still 16?
16 teams.
Oh, my gosh.
It'll go Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4.
Has Tennessee made it to the Sweet 16? They did, didn't they?
They did.
That's what I thought.
The Lady Vols did not. They lost last night. Or Monday, depending on what day you're listening to this. So, yeah. And I'm a little... I don't know, I read an article today on the Lady Vols. And I've said this before, like, I'm a huge Kelly Harper fan just because I loved her growing up. But I don't know if she's the coach.
Yeah.
That just because, I mean, she's got a winning record. It's not that they're horrible, but they're not Tennessee caliber.
Yeah.
When it comes to women's basketball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's real interesting. Let's find...
Sometimes they fire them.
Sometimes they do.
I mean, I don't know, I have no idea who this was, but it has been on my Instagram feed of it. It's a basketball coach, a female basketball coach, and she's at the press table and they're asking her questions about, like, what direction they're going to go in next season. That. She's like, I just got fired. Yep. I mean, she's very, respectful about how they had done it, but it didn't seem like the right way to do it. But I'm like, yeah, they'll just fire you, I guess.
Yep. And it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think so. That one was very quiet today, I feel like. You must have your volume down. Oh, there we go.
I must. Yeah, now I need to turn it back on to silent so that my phone doesn't ring. So it's time for Real Estate Corner today. And...
I'm curious if anybody's going to really know what we're talking about, but I would say they would.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit of an elephant in the room for a lot of realtors, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what we know, and if you don't know, I guess we're bringing attention to it that's really not necessarily needed. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there right now, just because it's a story that could clickbait. Yeah. So, for those who don't know, there's been a class action lawsuit against NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors.
Yes.
Stating that there was, like, false advertisement for commissions.
Yeah.
And
basically saying that realtors were being, I guess, maybe, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but dishonest about...
And there could
commissions.
Be, right.
And I'm not saying that they weren't.
Right. And there may be agents out there that were.
Yeah.
I will say first, a class action lawsuit is typically made by lawyers to deepen their pockets.
Yeah.
I think
has money.
Yeah, and I think Verizon is in the middle of a class action lawsuit. I think it's like $1 million, and like I can go and be a part of that class action lawsuit, and I may get $1.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe.
You see them all the time.
Yeah.
Milk, restaurants, places like Verizon. I mean, they happen a lot.
Yes.
And then it gets split up between however many people, and you may literally never see a check.
Yeah.
But you know who does?
Is the lawyers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would just say for me, and this is my opinion, this is Rachel's opinion. We are not giving any legal advice or anything that's official. It's an opinion of how we view it. Is, like I said, a lot of misinformation. I do think us as realtors, I don't think the public realizes how much work we do that we may never get a paycheck for. Mm-hmm. So
and also, I don't think they realize on really how we're paid in general. So
correct.
That's some confusion too. You know, they don't really understand
there's been people that thought that I get paid just to go show houses.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We as realtors do not get paid until we have a closing.
Yes.
I will also say that there are closings that I've calculated the hours that I had into it and probably missed some hours, and it came out to like $1 something an hour. Because,
oh, wow. Yeah.
But, I mean, we drove a lot of places.
Yeah.
I will also say that's not every closing.
No.
There's also that you don't have as many showings maybe as a buyer's agent, but there's a lot of work that we do behind the scenes. I feel like us as realtors, and you may feel like this, if there's fires, we are constantly putting out little fires. It could be something small with the lender, a buyer, another agent, or something else going on that we really try to shield our clients from. Like, I will always tell my clients anything that they need to know, and I will be open. But, like, there's so many times, like, we're putting in work behind the scenes. Like, I'm not going to call my clients that I have a house listed for every time I talk about. Yeah. Like, if I have your house listed, no, like, I'm going to be talking about your house as many times and as often as I can.
Yeah. Well, and if you have a deal that doesn't have some kind of issue show up, it's rare. I mean, there is something, whether there's an issue in the inspection, an issue with, like you said, the lending side of it. There's so many parts that are moving. So there's bound to be something. And like you said, typically what our job is to fix it.
And that's so my goal is to fix it and then present it to the client like, hey, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
But
here's my solution.
This is what's already been fixed. Now we'll also say, like, one thing about me and Rachel is we're very upfront and honest. Like, I'm not going to, I'm going to be as professional as I can at all times, but if I get negative feedback about your listing or if I have, like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I feel like there are several realtors out there that are not honest.
Yeah. Well, even sometimes I've noticed that I definitely think sometimes agents will, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't take it, but I do think at times agents will tell sellers, oh yeah, I can sell your house for this, because they want the listing. Right. When they know, maybe it's overpriced, maybe it's underpriced. Like, there are times where I think that they have just tried to feed you what you want to hear versus the truth, and then that sometimes causes conflict because you're like, you gave me all these promises. And so I try to be very honest when I'm pricing a listing, saying, I'm going to list it. If you have a strong opinion, you want it listed at this price, we will list it there. Yep. I'm going to be honest and say whether I think it will sell for that or not.
Yep. And I think that for me, like, I appreciate that. Yeah. With anybody that I'm dealing with. I want people to be honest and upfront. Now, at the end of the day, we work for you. Yes. So if it's a listing and you want to list your house for $1 million and we say it's probably only worth $900, we'll list it for $1 million, but we will be upfront and tell you that. I also don't think the public realizes necessarily where all our money. Well, one, if we're representing just a buyer, we might look at 1, 2, 45 houses.
Yes.
It may be for a week, or it might be for the longest I think I've had is 2.5 years.
Wow.
For a buyer.
Yeah. I've had some long ones too.
You know.
And then I will say I've worked with people for 6 or 7 months and then they do not buy anything.
Right.
I was paid nothing. I drove to Sneedville, Greenville, Thornhill, all over East Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And he did not buy a house from me.
Right. And I will say this at the end of the day, like, I do not expect anyone to go work for free.
Yeah.
And there is so many people that do expect realtors to sometimes work for free. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, and this is maybe I'll get a little backlash on this one. Be loyal to someone. If you have been looking at a house with someone for weeks on end, unless you all have a conflict and you all are not good, it's not a good relationship, go to that agent and let them know. But I am hearing way too often, like, most of the time, like, we try to drop everything that we're doing to get a client into a house.
Yeah.
But there are times where life does happen, and we do have things, or other agents, like, I've heard of agents who's had to be at a funeral, and their client that they'd showed houses to for 6 months or whatever called somebody else that could just get there, and
it wasn't because he was at home taking a nap.
Right.
Like, he was at a funeral, like,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just, or shit, like, and I'm not saying, like, realtors are also going to go on vacation. Most of the time as a realtor, if I go on vacation, I get someone else that can cover if I can't be there.
And that's the thing. Okay, here's another thing that I don't think people really understand. But it's a good thing that we are able to do. If your agent is out of town, and you call them and say, I really want to see this house. And they're like, I'm out of town. But I can get somebody to open the door for you. You can still use your agent. They will still write your offer. Yep. You will still work with them. They will still get paid. But your agent pays someone a fee to show you that house. Mm-hmm. And so contact your agent.
Right. Yeah,
because they will figure out a way to get you in that house. If it's a situation where they physically can't, most of them are going to find somebody who can show it to you.
Yeah, I think communication is just the key.
Yeah.
And I think that's
we've got on a rabbit trail here.
We did, sorry. We did. That's why I need to keep my notes.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot to
There is a lot.
A lot.
And so there is a class action lawsuit, and it's not final.
No.
A lot of misinformation.
And there is, of course, there's been a lot of discussion. This has been going on for a while.
Has.
It's just hit the news recently. But
and there may be some changes, but it's going to be changes to where, when you are a buyer's agent, potentially, we're going to have to build in the commission on the sales price, which is kind of already being done anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's
And there are
written.
some loan types which don't really allow that.
But, yeah.
But there are ways to figure it out. So basically, sellers, for many, many years, I guess as long as real estate's been a thing, if you're selling your house and you hire a listing agent, you two agree on a commission that's going to be paid. So let's say 6%.
Right.
That 6% is split. So your seller is paying it, the selling agent gets a portion, and the buyer's agent gets a portion for bringing a buyer.
Yep. And so typically, if it's 6%, 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the selling agent.
Yes.
And that's before they go and have to do their splits that they have within their office.
Yes,
and that
their
varies.
Office splits, there's taxes, sometimes there's percentages.
There's referral fees or other fees that are associated before the realtor actually gets their paycheck.
Yeah.
So there is a lot to it. But I will also say, if you are going to sell your house and you say, I'm only going to pay the listing agent, I'm just going to be honest with you,
You're free to do that.
You are free to do that, but no realtor is going to have any motive to try to show your house.
Mm-hmm. Because they're not getting paid to do so.
Yeah.
So
now your listing agent will probably work their butt off on pushing good.
Yeah.
But most of the time, a buyer wants to be represented by their own agent.
And we're seeing a lot of first-time home buyers who are actually doing everything they can to make the down payment.
Right.
Or their closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
So when you add on top of that, potentially, buyer's agent fees, that can be very overwhelming for a young buyer.
But we'll definitely keep you all informed as things change.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there will always still be the option for a seller to say, I'm fine with doing it that way. I will pay.
And I will just be honest, most people are going to.
Yeah.
So it's...
And this may be the most boring thing you've heard in
we do not... Normally we keep Real Estate Corner down to like a couple minutes. Sorry.
It's good information to have.
It is good information. Yeah.
You learn something new,
Yeah. I have a good random fact for you. I think you're going to enjoy this random fact.
Okay. Is it about food?
Well, I am hungry. We've got to start doing these. Like
we should bring us a little charcuterie board to snack on.
Dinner with Rachel and Brittany. Like
that would be a better name.
Yeah, but then
all we talk about is food.
I know. So you love coffee.
I do love coffee.
Okay. Did you know that the CIA headquarters has its own Starbucks, but baristas do not write names on the cups?
Interesting.
So, I mean, like, if I've got an order for Rachel. Well, here it would say, the recipient would say store number 1 instead of Starbucks. So the receipt doesn't even say Starbucks, store number 1. And the workers need an escort to leave their work post.
Interesting. Wow, top secret. I'm curious as to why. Because if you're working in the building... Like, how are people getting in there? They're not.
They're getting an escort, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, okay, like you order coffee.
They're probably not classified to see a lot of this stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
So they've got to get escorted in and out. Like, as a Starbucks employee, they've got to get escorted in and out because they can't see.
I bet that's why they don't put the names on them either.
Well,
because they probably aren't allowed to know their names.
Yeah, like who's working there?
Yeah, interesting. I think I would be in trouble. Anytime we go out of town and stay at a hotel that has a coffee shop in that hotel, it's so convenient. I love it. But if I worked somewhere where I could literally walk downstairs and get me a coffee, I would have multiple coffees every day.
So, you're telling me if our real estate office had a...
Oh my gosh.
Guys.
Even if it was just next door. Yeah. You'd be seeing me here every day. Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
And I would just wave at her as she walks to and fro with her coffee.
Maybe they could make smoothies. Do you drink smoothies?
I do like smoothies and hot chocolate.
But see, smoothies aren't something most people drink every day.
No.
Like, you don't really want a smoothie every day. So I can't even imagine how you start your morning, but it's probably horrible.
I mean...
Starting it without a coffee? What do you drink?
Water.
Do you drink water first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
That's gross.
I love water.
I mean, I like water too, but not first thing in the morning. Yeah. I want a coffee, and then about an hour later, I'll start drinking water.
I got you.
Yeah.
No.
I have to have some coffee.
I'll drink a caffeinated drink at some point during the day.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, it's not a good thing. I'm definitely addicted to coffee, but it's just my reality.
Yeah. I've tried. I just don't. I can't do it.
You gotta start with the things that don't taste like coffee.
I did. I told you. I texted you.
And then wean yourself.
I got a strawberry and cream frappuccino.
But it doesn't even have coffee in it.
It was from a coffee restaurant. That's all that counts.
Well, the next time you order it, get it with coffee or espresso, whatever they put in their frappuccinos.
Yeah, I'll definitely not be doing that.
It's so disappointing.
I know.
You're missing out on a lot.
Says the person who doesn't like Southern food.
I mean, Yeah.
Let's just.
I mean, I'll eat it though. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
So you're not even trying.
It's okay.
I don't know if it is.
Going anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, we are actually. We were supposed to be going to Italy.
I know.
And that got canceled.
I know.
It was very disappointing. Well, they said postponed, and his company has reimbursed him for his ticket. So I would imagine they're not going to let their money go to waste.
Right.
At some point, we will be going. But this is kind of like, I was really excited to go somewhere, and we've not gone anywhere in probably like 6 months. So we're going to go to Highlands, which is in North Carolina. It's nowhere fancy. Yeah. But it's just kind of a little quick getaway, and then I'm sure we'll go somewhere in the summer again.
Fun.
But we're just doing like a long weekend.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear about it.
We might go fly fishing. Have you ever tried that?
No.
I haven't either. Well, I have, but I was young. Like, my brother had hobbies. Depending on the day, his hobbies changed very often. But at one point, it was fishing.
Yeah.
And so he bought a fly rod.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No. I've seen it.
But it looks pretty cool if you actually can figure out how to do it. I'm just worried it might be too cold. Because I am kind of wimpy when it comes to cold.
True.
But we might try that. Because they've got apparently quite a few, like, guides who will take you and show you how to do it.
Make a video.
Oh, I should do that. Yeah. It would probably be entertaining. Watch me tangle up a fly rod a million times in a tree.
You know.
Or get a hook stuck somewhere in my body.
Yeah. I saw totally random squirrel moment here. The funniest little saying the other day for Easter, it was church prom is next weekend. And I don't have my dress yet.
That is hilarious.
And I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that is so funny. And true,
it's
honestly.
So true,
I mean,
though.
it is. And this year, I got to thinking, I don't think I'm going to buy a new dress.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time and money. Last year I bought one. That's the only time I wore it. And honestly, I should probably just wear that one again. Because nobody cares.
No one cares.
I have 2 dresses that I bought for the beach. And I may just wear one of them. I don't know. Who knows? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I wear it once and then I don't wear it again. And that's a waste of money.
I know that sounds horrible. I don't do this anymore. But I'd love to go to church. And I want to be at church for many reasons. And,
definitely.
For my relationship. But, I feel like sometimes as Christians, sometimes we skip church on occasion. Mm-hmm. I would not mind to skip Easter. Not because of the meaning of Easter. I love the meaning of Easter. Like, that's, like...
Of course, yes.
I mean, like, that is my favorite. But I feel like sometimes, like, there's so much pressure on looking perfect on Easter. So...
True. And there's always... the expectation, I think, especially once you have kids, which is so silly, but I do think there's, for some reason, it feels like an expectation to have a new outfit and be very matchy and everybody coordinates. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm sure one day I will enjoy doing that, but then sometimes you probably get to a point where it's like, this is kind of a lot of work.
It is.
And it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
So, I understand.
But, but I still do it.
Yeah.
I make them, we go matchy. I think we're doing purple this year.
Oh, that'd be cute.
So.
I have no idea what we'll do. Like I said, I'll probably just wear an old dress. Because, for one thing, I had thought we might still be gone on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I don't really need a dress because I'm not sure that we'll be here for Easter service. But we will be. So good. I'm just going to wear something that I have.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Anything new coming to town that you're aware of?
Nothing that we haven't talked about, I don't think. I still have no idea when the new places are opening. The Indian restaurant, Mexican restaurant, and Crumble Cookie. I don't know when they're opening.
I could go for a
Crumble Cookie. I will say, up here on this end of town, where it was Ruby Tuesday years ago, and then it's been multiple other things.
I thought it was going to be a Mexican restaurant.
It says Papa's Steakhouse Breakfast.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I am very hopeful they have breakfast, and a good breakfast, because that is something we are definitely lacking in.
Yeah, something different.
Something different. And breakfast. I do not think we have very many breakfast options.
No.
And I love breakfast. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I did get on their website, and they have a website.
Do they?
They didn't have a ton of stuff on there, but they did have
I hope
some
it's
information.
successful. Like, they put a ton of work
That's what I was
in it.
hearing you say. And I think that's been one of the problems is everything that has been there since Ruby Tuesday, they have not done much.
Yeah.
They've not done what really needed to be done and give it a big facelift.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it's needed, which, of course, there's other things, management and that kind of thing that goes into it. But, yeah, they've done a lot of work, and hopefully it'll work for them. It's not a bad location.
No,
it's right there.
Location.
I see people say that sometimes on Facebook. They're like, oh, it's just not a good location. That is not it. It's just been, I think, poor management and something that wasn't probably going to survive in this town.
Right.
But this one seems hopeful.
Yeah.
So.
I hope so.
I'd like to find me some good Eggs Benedict.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but I think that's all for this week.
Yeah.
You have anything, unless you have anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Easter weekend.
Easter weekend. Hope everyone.
Lots of Easter egg hunting.
Easter egg hunts and, yeah. So
I do think there's like a market, an Easter
spring market or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Downtown maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
get out and just enjoy.
Hopefully the sun will come out and it'll be pretty. I hope.
Yeah.
It's not today.
Not. But I think
this weekend is supposed to be. So
yeah.
be good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
All right, guys,
thanks.
have a great week. See you all next week.